What's up everyone, Amanda here. Hope you all are doing well. So the mini bike obsession has finally progressed into me purchasing my first motorcycle. I bought a 2021 Lifan KP Mini and I am loving it so far. I also wanted to tell you why I went with this bike over a Honda Grom. Also in this video, I filmed the entire progress of me modifying this bike and making it something really awesome, including changing the stock handlebars with Protapers, wiring up the integrated turn signals on the KP Mini, which look really cool, and also upgrading the stock exhaust with the KP Moto Club exhaust. Now, if you're not interested in hearing why I picked this bike over the Honda Grom, and you just want to see all the mods that I did to the KP Mini, go ahead and skip to this time frame right here. But if you are looking at purchasing your first bike and you don't want to break the budget and you still want to have a good bike, this is definitely a good option for you. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I am 26 years old and I am 5'2", so I'm a little bit vertically challenged. So I wanted a bike that I could flat foot, meaning I could put both feet on the ground if I'm at a stop. I also wanted a smaller bike, something that I could handle, so if I did accidentally fall, I could easily pick the bike up and take off without any issues. So after doing some research, I did settle on getting a 2022 Honda Grom. I was able to go to one of my local dealerships and they had one in stock. So I went there for a couple of days, sat on the bike, and I knew that that is what I wanted. I wanted that Honda Grom. Fast forward to the weekend, it was Saturday morning. It was time to go pick up the Honda Grom. Me and my dad went over to the dealership. Sadly, when I walked in, it had already been sold. I was definitely heartbroken, but I wasn't completely defeated because I figured there was definitely going to be a dealership that had a Honda Grom nearby and I would just drive to a different dealership. But on my way out, I did stop and talk to the salesperson who sold the Honda Grom to whoever it was. And I did ask them, how much did they spend out the door to buy that Honda Grom? So right now, the 2022 Honda Grom, the MSRP price is, I think, $3,400, $3,500. Again, that's MSRP. And the salesman told me he sold the bike for, get ready, $5,100. I was like, hold up, $5,100 for a Grom? So back to the drawing board I went, and I knew I wanted a bike similar to the Honda Grom, but I didn't want an exact Honda Grom clone. I know there's one out there that's called the Boom Vader or something like that, but I know you have to pour a lot of money just to get it reliable. I wanted something that was reliable off the gate, that was similar to a Honda Grom, but not an exact clone, and that's when I came across the Lifan KP Mini. After doing some research, I did find out that Lifan is actually a really reputable country overseas. Yes, it is made in China, but these motors that they make are pretty much exactly like Kawasaki engines. Also, there's a company in America called American Lifan. So all the bikes that you get from China are imported to America and they go to America Lifan, and you're able to contact them for customer service and they can get you parts. And I've already had to deal with them a couple of times and they've been fantastic. Also, there's a Facebook group dedicated to KP Mini riders, so there's a great community. The bike is a great quality. I knew that I was going to get customer service, and the bike just looks good in my opinion. So to do a quick comparison of the Honda Grom versus a KP Mini, the Honda Grom is a 125cc engine. Now, the new 2022 model is 5-speed, but anything prior, if you want to go with a previous year, it is a 4-speed. And again, the MSRP price of the Honda Grom was $3,400-ish, plus all those dealership fees. So you're looking at least another $1,000 on top of that to take a Honda Grom home. Now, the KP Mini is a 150cc engine, which means already it's faster than a Honda Grom stock. It's also a 5-speed transmission, and all the previous years are also 5-speed transmissions. And here's the most important fact. The KP Mini shipped to my door, free shipping, was a total of $2,358. So you have $2,358 versus $5,100 for the Grom. You get a faster engine with the KP Mini. It's a 5-speed engine. You get good customer service, a good community. I mean, overall, it's definitely a good purchase. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some negatives that come with the KP Mini versus the Honda Grom. One being that the KP Mini is carbureted versus fuel injected. The Honda Grom is fuel injected. But I've been dealing with go-karts and mini bikes my whole life, so carburetors are just fine for me. I don't really mind. Plus the difference between the two with the price difference that you get, I mean, carbureted's fine. And because the KP Mini was more than half off of the Honda Grom, I was able to buy a really nice helmet, a really nice jacket, some nice riding boots, and I was able to sign up for an MSF course, which all are very important, and I was still under even the MSRP price of the Honda Grom. Now, I am not sponsored by Lifan. I bought that bike with my hard-earned money, and I bought all the mods that I did for it with my own money. So this is just a personal opinion. And I did a ton of really cool mods to get this thing running as good as a Honda Grom. I changed out the stock handlebars with some Protapers, added some new Pillowtop Grips. We add some bar and mirrors. I also changed the turn signals and also upgraded the stock exhaust with the exclusive KP Moto Club exhaust build for this bike. So without further ado, let's go check out the mods. All right, so the things we're installing, here are the Protaper. These are the SE XR50s. So these are a little bit taller than the stock handlebars. They are really nice. So those are the handlebars. We also have some shorty levers for us folks that have short hands. We have bar end mirrors. These are just cheap bar end mirrors I got off of Amazon, and I'll post links to everything that I'm using in the description below. And then also we have some Protaper Pillowtop Grips. I'm super excited about putting these on there. They feel really good. So the first thing I'm gonna do is remove everything on the throttle side. So we're gonna remove the controls, the throttle, and the brake. Also, these very ugly turn signals are gonna go because we're gonna use the integrated turn signals that are on the KP Mini. All right, now it's time to remove the clutch side. Now it's time to remove the original handlebars, and all we need to do is loosen up these 4 bolts. I'm going to be using an impact drill for that because it gets it done a lot quicker. So real quick, I wanted to show you guys a comparison of the stock handlebars versus the Protaper SE handlebars. They're about the same length, but the height is definitely different. You can kind of see here compared to the Protapers. There's quite a different height in the two. So that is gonna come in handy. I'm very excited. I'm glad that these are a lot taller. Some people like them shorter. I definitely wanted them taller. I wanted to be able to sit up on the bike. So yeah, we'll go ahead and install the Protaper handlebars. I think they're gonna be a massive improvement compared to the stock. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the Protaper handlebars on kind of loosely, and it's kind of handy because they have some small measurements here, so you get the perfect degree on how you wanna mount it. But I'm just gonna put it on loosely and see where I want it first. What I'm doing right now is I'm just sitting on the bike and getting the handlebars kind of where I want them. I only have a couple of screws in because I'm planning on removing these, but I can already tell these are gonna be a very, very nice upgrade to this bike. This is just a quick test fit, but I'm loving it so far. So the next thing we need to do is this right here is the brake line, and we need a little bit of slack in the brake line. So there's this little rubber gasket that's just kind of holding the brake line in place, and there is a small screw. We just need to go ahead and loosen this up. Ooh, let me reverse that. So we're gonna loosen this up. Perfect. And what we need to do is get this onto the other side here, similar to the choke. So this is on the outside. So we just need to take the brake line and put it out here. We need a little bit more slack. So while I have the headlight down like this, I am gonna go ahead and remove these atrocious turn signals, because we're gonna use the really cool integrated turn signals that are on the KP Mini. So it's super easy. There are two small cables that are in this housing, right there and there, the green and the blue. We're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab a pair of needle nose and pull those off. So the ugly turn signals are off, thank goodness. But I also got a little bit more slack on the brake line now, so I can bring up my brakes. Right now I just have them loosely fit, because next I need to put some tape around the handlebars and fit the controls kind of where I want them, because on the handlebar controls there's this little guy, and this needs to line up with a hole on the handlebar. On the original handlebars, there's holes that those go into, so your controls don't turn on you while you're riding. So I need to make these same holes on the Protaper handlebars. So I'm gonna get them close. I'm gonna go ahead and put a piece of tape around this, and I'm gonna get them where I want them, and hopefully this little guy will make an indentation in the tape, and that's where I need to drill the hole. And that seems to be pretty comfortable. I'm gonna wiggle it back and forth, that way that mark can be seen. Hopefully, tape will work. Well, that worked great. So as you can see, it made a perfect mark. So that's where I need to drill my hole. I'm gonna do the same thing on the clutch side though, real quick. Both of my marks are made. So the tape method worked really well. And I just used standard duct tape. So the next thing I need to do is go ahead and remove the handlebars and drill these holes to match the original stock handlebar holes. So the holes are drilled, and now we can go ahead and permanently mount the handlebars. Now, because we're putting bar end mirrors, we do need to take this little cap off, and it's pretty easy. Kind of get it started with your fingers, but should pry right off. Almost. Bada bing. So now it's time to put on the Pillowtop Grips. So I'm going to use good old-fashioned Aquanet hairspray. That should lube it right up. I should be able to slip it right on. Beautiful. These grips feel awesome. Everything feels pretty good. Now for the throttle side, because I'm not planning on saving these grips, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them off using a box cutter. But there are ways that you can save grips because they're so cheap that I'm not really worried about them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them off. Whew. Whew. Holy cow. Oh, that was tough. So now that I got the handlebars where I want them, I'm gonna go ahead and do the integrated tail lights. And I went ahead and took the side plate off. It was super easy, just a couple of screws. And in the inside, there's already a hookup for it. So you just need to remove this tie wrap and then hook it right up to those wires right there. So we've got blue and green, so that's gonna hook up to the blue and green wire here. All right, so that is all hooked up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this side cover back on. Same thing on this side. This time we have green and orange. We just need to match up the green and orange cable. Done. Go ahead and put it back on. It is the next day, and now it is time to install the bar end mirrors. These mirrors do come with two different sizes. This one I haven't adjusted yet, but this is the one I already did. This is what you need for the Protaper, so you just need to remove this first sleeve and make sure it's that size for it to work. So to install the bar end mirrors, I tried to drill a hole to see if I could get the bar end mirrors to insert in here, but unfortunately that didn't work. So what I'm going to do is just use a box cutter and cut the end of the grip so I can slide the bar end mirrors in. Next I'm going to use a Dremel and just clean this up a bit. Wow, what a difference. This is really, really coming together. Super excited. Loving these bar end mirrors. There's some really expensive ones like this out in the wild, but got these for about $18. And they look fantastic, but oh my gosh. This is completely changing the feel of the bike. Fast forward a few days and the handlebars are officially done. I did put the levers on off cam. They were super easy. All you have to do is loosen this bolt here and put the new levers on. Though I don't know if I'm going to keep these levers. They feel kind of cheap. They're awfully loose, which makes me feel a little also, the clutch side of the lever did not fit with the stock clutch, so I did have to get a whole new clutch setup, which is fine because honestly I didn't really like the stock one. It was a little bit too far, let's see, a little bit too far to the actual curve of the handlebars, so it was making the clutch lever go up. So this is definitely a little bit of a better fit, but again, a little loose. I don't know how well I'm gonna like that, but they do the trick for now. I don't know if I'm gonna keep them long term though. Also, we did finish the integrated turn signals, which look awesome. I'll show you guys that real quick. Can't really see them in the sun, but they're doing their thing. These look so much better than those tacky turn signals. So the next thing I'm going to do on this bike, which I think will change the way it looks a lot, is get rid of these ridiculous decals. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. Personally, I think it looks like the bike was laid over or scratched, but these are just stickers. They're not painted on there or anything, and they're very easy to peel off. Now I'm going to use something to kind of assist me in getting these off, which is a good old heat gun. So I'm just going to slowly heat these decals up, and they should peel right off without leaving any type of residue. The glue gun is definitely helping, but it's not getting all of the stickiness off. So I did go and grab some Goo Gone, and I'm just gonna use a shop towel and kind of clean it up a little bit. So I'm gonna heat it back up with my heat gun, and hopefully the Goo Gone will get all the residue off. This one I'm gonna try to do without the heat gun just to see kind of what it does. All right, well that was actually a lot better. So I would say don't use the heat gun then. But if you do have some residue left over, it is nice to have that heat gun to heat it up and then put the Goo Gone over it. Alright, so there's still a little bit of residue left, so I'm going to just use some Goo Gone to get that extra. So I'm going to get the rest of the stickers off the bike off camera because I don't feel like boring you guys to death. Alright, so the stickers are off, and I think it completely changed the look of this bike. It no longer looks like a toy. It doesn't look like it has scratches on the side. I love it. I think it looks so good without those ridiculous stickers. It just looks like a more expensive bike in my opinion. Definitely worth it. Wasn't hard at all. Took about 10 minutes. I would say 100% worth it. This bike is really coming together. Last but not least, time to upgrade to the KP Moto Club exhaust. So to remove the stock exhaust, it looks like it's just 3 bolts. So one of the bolts goes to the rear foot peg right there. Also, we have 2 right here and there. So I'll go ahead and loosen those up. So it looks like we have 2 washers and a nut. Make sure you don't lose those. All right, and then there's the foot peg. Just gonna set that to the side. And then we have 2 more here and here. So I'll go ahead and loosen those up. Oh, they're on there pretty tight. Which I guess is a good thing. Well, removing the stock exhaust was not hard at all. There is a small little gasket in here that you need to take out. Ooh, there it is. Taking all that out because we have a new one. Perfect. This is the old one, you can chuck it. Now time for the nice and shiny new one. Ah, hold on. Stay in there. There we go. Look at how gorgeous this thing looks. Got the KP Moto Club logo. Ah, I'm so excited. The last thing we need to put on are these two springs. They go right here, here, and then there are two more on the bottom. It did come with this awesome spring tool, so I'm just going to use that. Shouldn't be too hard. Oh, okay. I take that back. It is kind of hard. Oh, gosh. All right. Dad to the rescue. See, it has two grooves right there and there.
Yeah, I see it, sweetie. That's why that's like that. That's why that's like that.
It ain't easy, I'm telling you.
It's just I gotta push it, gets everything.
I got one. All right, can you do the bottom? Almost, almost. Almost, yeah, she did it. All right, you guys, so now that all the mods are done, it's time to go take it out for a test spin. Let's do it. All right, so I'm not gonna go too far because it is currently about 50 degrees, so it's freezing to me because we are in the middle of November, but we'll take it up to a little neighborhood, just do a little riding around, but let's go ahead and get it warmed up. I love the sound of that new exhaust. So this is the first ride with all of the new mods. As you can see, the leaves are going crazy. Just let the bike heat up for a second. Alright, so we're just gonna go cruising around this neighborhood. And we're off. Woo! It is pretty cold. Not gonna lie. But it definitely feels good to take the bike out. Hopefully it sounds okay for you guys. Right now I'm just cruising in third gear. That exhaust sounds so good. Man, I do really love the fall though. I love the leaves and the colors of the leaves. It's my favorite time of the year for sure. You guys know how much I love Halloween. Love Halloween. Sure we're clear. Cute little doggies. So yeah, I really am loving this bike, guys. It's treated me well. I haven't been able to ride it too much, obviously, but what I have been able to do, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Still learning about first gear, and I do tend to stall when I'm trying to get into first gear, but that's gonna come in time. Woo, like right there. Pretty much got the hang of it though, sort of. Just cruising in second gear, relaxing. Turn down the street for a minute. This is definitely a great first bike. I'm loving it. Got some folks playing some soccer. This is a church right here, so people like to play sports around this area. But I'm just going to do a quick little U-turn right here. Let's go ahead and head back home. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you guys like this type of content, definitely let me know. I may do some more mods to it. I may do the fender eliminator. Not quite sure yet, though. I'm not really planning on doing any fancy tricks or anything on this. Also, I am planning on adding a Moto horn to it, so it's like a train horn. So let me know if you guys want to see that as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.